seeing straight couples kiss in public. I hate seeing them hold hands in the street. I hate that they're in every movie and advert and TV show on repeat. I hate watching them feed each other at restaurants, sitting on each other's laps when they have their own seats. I hate when he rubs her back under her top and helps get food out her teeth. I hate when she runs her hands through his hair as he gently rubs her sore feet. I hate when they just gyrate on one another and don't even try to be discreet. I hate when they just sit and stare at each other in silence when they both got mouths to speak. And I hate the cringe terms of endearment they tell each other when they meet that they desperately want the whole world to hear. But what I hate most, I hate that they can do all of this without any prejudice or fear. They don't have to check their surroundings beforehand to sense if any danger is near. They don't feel threatened for their life or have to think twice. And I reckon for once, you know what, that might be quite nice. To not have to whisper my affections. To not have to stifle my humanity. To not resist my emotions and hold back romantically. To not worry the sweetest moments could quickly turn savoury. To actually live in the moment and not have it taken away from me, and to not have it all be such an act of rebellion or bravery. Like, why does it have to be different for anyone other than a woman and a man? Why do we have to suffer for your need to fear what you refuse to understand? You keep us at arm's length, we both show love by holding hands. You badmouth us, but we both show passion with a kiss. You want us to get lost, but we all want someone to miss. You want us out of sight, but we both look at the same skies, stare at the same sunset and admire the same sunrise, let me guess. Your eyes water when you cry, because mine do too. I didn't choose you to love, and that's the biggest similarity between me and you. I just can't show it freely, and that's the one thing I hate about you. Why does the barber always swing my chair to face the window when an attractive girl walks by? I don't tell him I'd rather be looking at another guy because he's got scissors in his hands. And that poor girl knows she's getting stared at by another man who just wants to hold her hand and tell her his partner is another man. And why does that same girl start to panic? When she's crossing the road and looks behind to see me crossing at the same time, I swear I didn't mean to plan it. She crosses back as I accidentally do the same. I don't know what to say. To her, this is no game, so I just shout that I'm gay and I'm not a threat, but she's heard that on before. So as she starts to run, her mind races with the men she's trying to forget, and I keep my feet firmly glued to the floor. And why does that same girl have to pretend I'm my boyfriend in public every time a guy keeps hassling her for attention? She's told him multiple times she's not interested. She grips my arm tighter and shows me more affection just to throw him off the scent. I hold her tight and conjure up a story of how long we've been together just in case he further questions what she meant. We hold hands and walk further away as he goes back to tell his group of friends that she's definitely frigid and I'm probably bent. And why does that same girl have to go out with their gay mates on play dates just so she can dance how she wants and knows her drink's safe? You can call it a stereotype. If the shoe fits, I'll wear it tight if it means she can have a good night and get home all right. Then I realise we're there for the same reason. We have a common enemy no matter the season that knows full well that we know. It puffs out its chest and throws intimidating stares everywhere that we go. It cordons off our lives and ring fences our homes. When we're in a world they created, there's no such thing as safe zones. If the streets are your playground, then you'll always feel at home. You can be blissfully unaware and always think you're playing fair. If you've never had to think up twice about how dark it is, what route you take, whose hand you hold and what you wear, then why would you care about how others are feeling? It might not be all men, but it's still going to be a man, whatever you believe in.
When the week dies off, we will still be. Will you still be? Ain't playing no more pressing. Play on my shit, no love just because, say, that for your bitch, feeling good, want my people to feel this, but they don't move in faith, God says atheist, sliding on this bitch, slide like cha-cha, right now I'm somewhat ducked off, aligning my chakras, I done met calm, but somebody better warn her, got Christmas Glocks and good women praying for my armor, I ain't worried out here big purring, my life make your vision blurry. Cats, demons off in a hurry. Got your vice lurking, cut the locks off, got the crossroads burning. Solitude helps to strengthen my discernment. Until you find your center, you ain't learned shit. You know your time more expensive than a Birkin. When the week dies off, we'll still be here. Will you still be here? Flashy type, fell in love with the milestone. Plenty shots called, got addicted to the dial tone. Trying to get ahead, something like honcho. Niggas got all the bread, then you find out the mind post. Spitting crazy, think I OD'd on lines hold. They'll think I'm the best if they listen with their eyes closed. But they like big behind hoes. Get it, get it, get it, big behind hoes. I'm fine though, really like right after the 9. Niggas inboxing ready to do anything for mine. Most never had a real one in their lives. Most never had a bitch high vibe.
Took a hit for the team, took a bullet for the dream, that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I'm still live through technology. After the sun, oh, comes the rain. And after the sun will start shining. Blessings of faith, and tears of pain, and tears of pain. Your destiny will manifest, yes, falls in the sea.
Bow, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? It's your dude BubzDaGawd here with yet another live, another live for you all on this Sunday evening. I was supposed to be here a little bit earlier, but some unforeseen circumstances popped up, which is rectified now, so now we cool. But what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? It's your dude here again, back with another live. Yes, it is the eve before Pride, baby. So for the queer people, y'all already know what the fuck finna happen, baby. These YouTube streets about to be littered and flooded, okay, with conservative, anti-queer, Christian nationalism type of ish, okay? And I figured, well, since we're going to prepare ourselves for that, we might as well just go ahead and just get us a little slice of the motherfucking commentary pot as well. Because a lot of motherfuckers are about to be eating really, really, really good in the neighborhood off of these queer commentaries in reference to Pride Month. Okay? No shade. And we're here. We are here. So just to let y'all know, there will be some colorful language in this commentary. No shade. No shade. I have a lot to say. I've been sitting on this particular live for a few days now. I watched this video with Amir Odom and Blaire White multiple times just to make sure that I'm good. I even asked people who are objective to be able to look at the video. I don't think they've looked at it, anytime soon, or before this live stream. So we're here. Okay. And I'm going to say this. I do believe that Amir and Blaire are under the impression that what they're doing is actually constructive and trying to help better the community, but they keep failing to explain to us how they have become so evolved and healed and whole and aligned in such a way that they are aligning themselves with the political party that, yes, historically and to this present day, want to suppress queer representation. And it's really a slap in the face to the queer community when there is a black queer person and a trans person who is a transsexual who has gotten the full surgery, because even I learned that transgender means that you have not completely done the reassignment surgery, but when you're a transsexual, then all of that is removed. You have a transsexual woman speaking in ways against the trans community. And from a Christian perspective at that, which is very interesting to me, because it's like, Miss Mamas, you're going to have to prove to us how it is trans for me, but not for thee. How somehow you and Amir are exempt from the stuff that queer people have to go through, unfortunately, whether we want to or not. That's the sad part. That even though you try to separate yourself, society at large sees us all as the same. You're just the good ones. You're still a training. You're still a hunger, Amir. You're still all these slurs and pejoratives, but you're just a good one. Okay. But before we get into the live, we got to be smart, y'all. Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. All the videos, songs, images, and graphics used in this live belong to their respective owners, and BubzDaGawd does not claim any right over them. Now, before we get into the live, let me see who's in the comment section. I'm going to try my best not to be here too long because, girl, I'm going to be invited to a Ponderosa later on tonight. I'm pretty sure y'all going to see what that's going to give. There's a live going on at 9 o'clock that I want to be present for. So I'm going to try my best to keep this under 2 hours. But if the spirit just leads me to go over 2 hours and really dig off in this mug for real, and I'll be late to the Ponderosa, that's cool too. No shade. The platform that's going to be having the commentary really don't need my help, but it's a town hall type of situation, and it's accountability within the queer community, which that's what objective people do. And again, Blaire and Amir, in some way, shape, and form, have that perspective, and we can highlight that perspective as well, because we're not no hating ass individuals over here on BubzDaGawd. But I'm gonna try my best. That's all I'm gonna say. But we got Queen Stevie in the building. What's going on? Say hi, Bubs. You lummy leprechaun, girl. You yummy leprechaun. I'm a yummy leprechaun. Okay. I hope you enjoyed last week's show with Christian. Hi, shorties. Hi, family. Make sure y'all subscribe to Style by Stevie. Baby, Barbara Walters and all them other motherfuckers ain't got nothing on her, baby. She is interviewing every day. Okay. And giving us different looks every day. She her own damn stylist. How many people can't do that in the celebrity world? Okay. And yes, I'm going to be tongue tied. And I think the universe made it that way so that I don't really say what I want to say. Because if I say sometimes what I really want to say without interruption, without any sort of filter, baby, these motherfuckers will be looking for me. See, I said lipping, girl, will be looking for me. And my leprechaun gonna pop out and say, bitch, here I go. Okay. We got rumors and tea in the building. What's going on? What's going on? These homophobes and transphobes are about to be solely focused on us in the queer community. Please protect your peace. No shade. She says rumors, my girl. Amir and Rob Smith, the black gay conservatives. And it's one more too. I am totally done with people who want to stay on the platform and suppress others in the community. Okay, white Christian nationalists. Okay, yes, the lummy leprechaun. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to get into the reaction to Amir and Blaire's sit down that Amir has been talking about for a while. I'm glad that I did not originally jump on it, and I really couldn't because I have real things going on in my life that are popping the fuck off that I'm grateful for. But now that I have some time to kind of do some stuff, I figured let me go ahead and do this. And again, we are one day before Pride Month. Baby, the Christians at large, the pick me, I'm not them type of gays at large, is about to go the hell off on the queer community and make buku amount of money from it, as well as these corporations. The ones who haven't bent the knee, girl, because they bent to the knee of money, girl, they're probably going to pander to the queer community. And we know a particular red pill platform, baby, is about to get all type of DoorDash credits and discounts and all type of goddamn plutonium ass level memberships, girl. They're going to be, baby, Pride Month, baby, for some of these big back, wide fupa, triple necked having ass Negroes and Negresses on these platforms, girl. Baby, slew footed ass individuals, baby. They about to shut down DoorDash. Just like how the Republicans shut down Grindr, they're going to shut down DoorDash. All the big back behavior is about to happen, girl. So y'all about to get up here and talk about, quote unquote, the sin of pride while gorging yourselves in the sin of greed. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video, okay? This is, again, Amir and Blaire talking about their conservative issues with the queer community at large. Is y'all ready? Because I'm ready. No shade. This is not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted because it's down some. I'm supposed to be getting some more instrumentals soon, so I can't wait for that. It's going to be exciting. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you are a Bush baby, if you a hater, whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments because now I'm speaking things publicly, okay? If I'm speaking things that are not right or that are not true objectively, you are obligated to correct me and I'm not beyond reproach. So let a ninja know. Let a leprechaun know. Anyway, let's get in.
What's up, everybody? My name is Amir Odom, and I can't even say it straight. I'm joined with the Blaire White.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining the channel.
Yes.
She is
so
a
glad
very
to have
gorgeous
you.
woman.
In this
I will
video,
give her
we're
that.
going
Very
over
gorgeous.
Our concerns and some things we find problematic about the LGBTQ community because I feel like they speak on behalf of everyone and they don't. There's a lot of things I disagree with. I'm sure there's a lot of things you disagree with. And in this video, we're going to be going through it all and raising our concerns. And it's important to note that this is coming from a place of like sincerity and care. Like this isn't trying to be mean. It's just like we're genuinely just trying to like damn near PR damage control of this crazy ass community that we are lumped in just because I'm gay and you're trans.
Right.
So,
And I love your channel. It's a long time coming. I know we have like a big crossover audience.
they're gonna have so much fun. So
Yes.
let's get right into this video.
Now, before they get to the video, I'm going to let y'all know right now, I'm going to be pausing a lot in my commentary. Okay, because I'm going to add context and nuance. No shade, because there is more information than what these individuals are presenting. And if you don't want to deal with that, if you're tired of me pausing, the link down below is for you to watch the video in its entirety without my interruptions, and then you can come back to mine. So whatever works for you. I'm just going to tell you what the hell I'm going to do on my ish. No shade, but a little bit of shade. Now, again, I said earlier, I do believe that there's a part of Blaire and Amir that wants to do this for the betterment of the community. But if you're going to do that, and these are the same people that you're trying to connect with in the community, then the way that you win the trust of those that you are giving critique over is that you're going to have to address your side of the party that has created all of these conditions for people to have a pride in the first place, who happen to have representation in the first place, because they're trying to suppress it. And I'm sorry, Amir, to me, you failed on that. I am an objective person. If you came through with all this objective fact about how the far right or the Republican Party actually cares about the queer community more so than the Democratic or what y'all call Democrat Party, then I need to see overwhelming amounts of videos produced by you because you have the resources, you have the connections. Hell, you're connected to Blaire White, who is connected to some political stuff as well. Why don't y'all go ahead and show us and prove to us how we're missing out? How we're the ones that are on the wrong side of evolution and of history. Okay? And no shade, Pride Month is before us. So I hope that I and some of us in the comments will be gagged beyond belief to see what a family-friendly Turning Point USA Pride event actually looks like. And if it looks like how y'all claim it is, and y'all saying that the black people and the queer people are finding more freedom and true objective freedom and liberation in Trump's America, baby, I will put on a red hat and start talking y'all shit for the rest of my damn life on this platform, if y'all can prove that. But we're going to see if they're going to prove that in this video. So let's continue.
Who I'm attracted to should not define my entire worldview.
Being gay feels lonelier inside the community than outside of it. There's a lot of moments where I feel like the black sheep in the gay community. And it's not because I don't like being gay or I don't love the people, but because my values don't really align with what's celebrated the loudest.
I feel like even for myself, when I first came out the closet, I completely flew out. Like, well, granted, I was outed, but when I was completely out, I turned into a caricature of what I thought gay was supposed to be, because for the longest time, that's all I saw in mainstream media. And I thought that that's what I was just supposed to be. Did you ever go through anything like that?
You know, I've always been like very much an individual, even as a kid. I never actually felt like a part of the LGBT community or anything. Like, growing up, I never went to prides. I had a lot of gay friends because I've naturally like vibed with other gay people.
Right.
And then when I transitioned at 20, I had like a few trans friends and stuff, but I always like didn't necessarily fit in, which is, you know, why I started my channel and obviously why you started yours. So there's a script that you're expected to follow, and they definitely program people to just join in lockstep. And it kind of leaves those of us who are more of individuals feeling like without a community, which is fine for me because I like writing solo, but I know for other people, maybe some of like our subscribers and stuff, like they have a harder time feeling like they don't have like a community of like-minded people.
Yeah, and I will give that to the LGBTQ community. In some aspects, it is a big ass community. Like, I've seen some of these gay guys and have like a group of like 20 guys going on group vacations and they're always going out. And I'm like, I guess. And I've had a few of those people reach out and they're like, damn, Amir, I'm like 1 out of 15 in this group chat and I can't say shit. And I feel so like out of the loop and I can't really share my opinion. And I feel bad for these kind of people out there. But
plus you're married, which is also like a little different too. We were just kind of mentioning like, I've seen a lot of my gay friends, like monogamy is something not super common and it's hard for them to find like real love and stuff.
It is. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Now, before we go forward, it is funny how these adults are now saying that they don't have a space or a place, even though they may be connected to queer people, that they still feel alone in these friend groups. But then we tend to ignore how a lot of queer children literally feel out of space and out of place and out of touch with their heterosexual peers around them. So do you see how like this idea continues to happen? And to Blaire and Amir's point in a perspective, I do believe that there are elements within the queer community, especially when we start delving into black queer stuff, that there is still some brokenness on the inside because a lot of us have not been taught how to deal with the trauma that those around us projected onto us. We internalized that, we never healed, and then we think that when we finally walk in our truth, we're going to find this big, amazing, wonderful ass community that's going to love us and care about us and all this other type of stuff, not realizing that there are bigger fragments in the community, especially when we're talking about elite gays, where now all of a sudden they are creating a hierarchy so that they can have forms and power and control to where they feel good about themselves. And those type of gays are no different than a lot of the politicians out here who just do their best to amass and gain power and influence to be able to shield how fucked up they really are on the inside. So yes, are we broken in the queer community? in certain aspects and areas, of course. There is a singleness epidemic that's happening amongst queer men. Because we are men in this system, we have been indoctrinated to be very hypersexual, regardless whether you gay or straight. You're going to look at somebody's chest. You're going to look at somebody's ass, like me. You're going to look at somebody's front part. You're going to look at something on somebody to sexualize them. When you have two men who are indoctrinated in that way, yes, it's going to be aggressive. But of course, there's not going to be any loving aspect or nurturing at large, because if I grew the fuck up being told that queer people ain't shit, that they're demons, that they're going to hell, that they have pockets of AIDS in their asshole like Amir's mother told him, that these are sick, twisted, nasty, deviant people, and the only time that there seems to be any sort of affection or love or some sort of attention towards them is when you're either whooping their ass or you're trying to fuck them on the low. Of course, why would somebody else sit up here and believe that they deserve better when y'all never gave them the opportunity to receive better, especially in their formative years? Because again, we talk so much about children, but y'all don't give a fuck about children. Y'all don't give a fuck about queer children. You give a fuck about children in reference to how your children gonna make you look. Even Blaire said that when she was younger, she was an individual. She didn't really sit up here and align with what adults said. She had this inner knowingness in her. And Miss Blaire, you think that you're the only trans person in the world who was a child that knew that? You didn't know that you were trans at that time because that information was not there for you, or you were not ready to receive that information. But baby, a pathway, as far as your life path, brought you in that way to where you went one step above a transgendered person. You had the full reassignment surgery. So even at a young age, you knew you were different. And the reason why that Amir and Blaire receive all this backlash, again, from the queer community at large, is because y'all are backed by people who literally want to suppress the queer community at large. No representation. They love sitting here saying, well, don't worry about the kids. We worried about the kids. Wait until you're 18. Wait until you're an adult. You can do what the hell you want to do. And then when the adults do what the hell they want to do, it's still a problem and it's still an issue. Y'all don't want to find a common ground. Y'all want to control the ground. And Miss Blaire, since you are a Christian, and again, I'm ignorant on your content. I don't know a lot about your content, so I'm going to speak ignorantly in reference to this. And if there are any Blaire white supporters in the audience, in the comments, let me know. Say, hey, Bubs, look at this video, because this breaks all this down. I'm gonna need for Miss Mamas to explain to me how she's going to be able to help people come to Christ, especially when she is a transsexual woman. And according to organized religion, you remove the only vital part that God saw valuable and worth and full of worth in your body. At least Amir and myself, we still got a chance according to organized religion. How are you exempt, Miss Mamas?
Traditional views on relationships, choosing one person and actually choosing.
You were just saying.
And sometimes that feels very antiquated. I don't participate in drug culture. I value my peace. I protect my mental health. I spend a lot of time alone.
Exactly,
I
AJ
meditate,
Robin.
I eat well. I try my hardest to stay grounded. And yes, every once in a while I go out with my guys and have the time of my life.
Come through,
But that
Hitman.
balance really matters to me. And that balance can often feel lonely in a community that prioritizes jawlines and six-pack abs and, who's hot enough to be loved before actually asking who someone is. It's really hard not to feel invisible when heart and soul aren't the main currency.
Yeah, that's fair. I think like what you're saying about monogamy being rare, and especially like with hookup
Hey,
culture
Queen
being
Faith,
so
how you
prevalent
doing?
in the gay
Make
community?
sure y'all subscribe to her.
I think, I don't know.
And the drug culture is like a really bad thing.
Now, before they get into the drug cultures and all the other type of stuff, to be like, hey, this is what happens when y'all crazy liberal gays do shit and y'all don't heal from shit. Y'all do this stuff. And we can talk about that. We can definitely talk about that. But I feel like this commentary would hit harder if it was a single gay conservative person as opposed to a married one who got his white knight in shining armor, literally. And Blaire White, who is a privileged trans woman. See, this will be a more this first segment will be more hard hitting again if it was motherfuckers living the struggle, not those who, oh well, I ain't got to worry about that because my man. Y'all singing, y'all need a man to make me feel pretty to lick on my Amir man doing all that. You get what I'm saying? So he's good. But there are more issues to this, and as it mentioned in the comments, here it is, Blaire and Amir are talking about being lumped into a community based on dominant society, but y'all turn around and use the same lumping effects that the dominant society does to queer people and just say, hey, we're going to join in and mask ourselves and be like, yeah, them over there, them over there. Why do y'all feel like y'all are exempt? Y'all got to help me understand that. They don't realize that we're going to the same motherfucking Starlight death camp. We going to Homelander's camp, girl. It's just baffling to me, but at the same time, because of how the economy is and how shit is getting more expensive and capitalism is really coming in and the elitist aspect of this quote unquote agenda is starting to manifest and sprout. Of course, I feel like Miss Blaire and Amir are too deep off and too deep in it, because if I made a living off of rhetoric about the queer community and the black community, and now we seeing the actual effects and what the fuck is actually happening, how this country is messed up, girl, I too would feel some type of way about having to compromise and sacrifice my livelihood based off of lies. But because I'm a person with honor and integrity, even though that would hurt me to take a very big pay cut, at least I'll be able to have the love of my community, the individuals who fought so that a Blaire or a motherfucking Amir or a BubzDaGawd or any other queer content creator can get up here and do what the hell they're doing today. Baby, I'm gonna go off in this live because again, I listened to this video multiple times, and I'm gonna give grace and mercy in the places where grace and mercy is there for, but the other bullshit, I'm not with it. I already know how the fuck this whole Pride Month shit finna kick the fuck off, especially since this orange pig is president now. Baby, y'all gonna fuck around with the right ones on the wrong day. No shade. Let's continue.
To like, not to say obviously all gay people are on drugs, but like I think a lot of LGBT people have a lot of trauma in their childhoods and you know, depending on what kind of families they come from, maybe struggled, and so drugs are obviously something that people get, you know, caught up in, and it's a very like hedonistic lifestyle, so it's not even necessarily a political thing. Like I think you and I have like different generally political opinions in the rest of the community, but also just not being so hedonistic and like just a little more like conservative and also like a little bit spiritually elevated. He's kind of talking about like just caring about like his inner peace and stuff. And it's a very chaotic community.
It is. And you have to take care of your mental peace. And even on that drug part, I didn't realize drugs were as prevalent in the gay community as they are. Like I didn't know Tina was that prevalent, Coke, all that. I had no idea any of that was like that big.
So we have people who are trying to clock the issues of the queer community, but they don't even know that they don't even know about how prevalent the quote unquote the shit is. And these are people that we're supposed to believe are the harbingers of truth. And speaking of harbingers of truth, girl, we got CTV in the building. What's going on? Make sure y'all subscribe to Conscious TV, baby. Okay, the king in these streets, baby. Okay, it says wait until Blaire pulls Carfax on the homicidal, genocidal, sexist, patriarchal, child sacrificing cult of Christianity and realize she traded one cult for another, or is she willfully obtuse and grifting? We gonna see, because there's information in this thing. And again, shout out to CTV, because baby, if there's one person who gonna call shit down the middle all the time, girl, it's gonna be him, because he's a nigga that actually lives by his words, to where it's inspiring me to live by my words, girl. I already have my motherfucking Kill Bill 2 Beatrice Kiddo Pai Mei ass whooping bitch, so now I understand, I'll get a basic understanding of how this stuff works. So again, CTV, if there's anything that I say in my commentary that happens to be kind of like, wait a minute, Bubs, please let me know and check me on my shit, please. And I know you will. Okay. Oh, wait, your moderator. Can I make you a moderator? Oh, let me do it. Hold on one second. You is absolutely right. Yes, add as moderator, baby. We gonna make him a managing moderator, girl. Shout out to CTV being a manager. Hey, what's going on? Got your motherfucking wrench, nigga. Okay. Let me see. The gay community is not completely hedonistic, again, with the stereotypes. And again, we have to look at the people that are backing them, that are supporting them. Amir Odom was able to reach his claim to fame with every measure. No Tina, no shade, girl. Maybe Marie, but not the Coke. The Tina, the liquor, the Coke. But made his rise and ascension in YouTube with his first YouTube video having millions of views because he was backed by PragerU, who is also related in the family to Summit Ministry. So these are all Republican, conservative, educational, as I call, really indoctrinational entities. Blaire White is connected to conservative aspects. And no shade, I can understand conservatism in reference to like for me, I am conservative when it comes down to intimacy. I'm not a person that can go out here and have one night stands. I'm not a person. Okay, I'll say this. I don't at this present moment have the capacity to be able to have one night stands, to be intimate with someone that I barely fucking know. Like, I'm not a person that can go out here and do all these things that is being claimed to be done objectively overall in the community. But at the same time, that's on them. If you doing your shit, at least be safe. Because again, you're an adult, which means you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Just do it responsibly. When you drink, drink responsibly. When you smoke, smoke responsibly. The motherfucking side effects is on the shit. Is you reading it? Do you understand moderation in this mug? And again, when it comes down to the queer community, the motherfuckers doing the Tina, the liquor, the Coke, and all this other type of stuff possibly could be numbing themselves from the trauma. And as CTV said something along the lines of, we're not responsible for the mess that is left or put in our life. The shit that's done to us against our, outside of our control, we're not responsible for that. We are, in fact and indeed, responsible for cleaning up the mess. And that's the part that sucks. Because other people just come in and just leave their shit there and you got to clean it up. Which means that you learn from that experience so that motherfuckers can't do it again. And there are plenty of gay men that need to heal. No shade. And if the white gays, because the majority of this shit is white gay people talking. Ain't gonna really be no niggas on here. The only nigga is Amir. But when we bring it down to actual black people and the shit we go through, dealing with slavery, dealing with not being able to mentally and emotionally transmute that and let that go, let alone live in a society that will affirm the loving, healthier version of us that played a part in that, is going to be even worse in the black queer community. And then when we talk about that, we're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, the elite gays, the gays that are attractive, the gays that are the higher echelon, the gays to where it's like, oh, I'm gay, but my looks, my money, my power, my privilege gets to override or overshadow, for the most part, me being gay. And those are the gays that don't make people feel included. The ones that judge you and say, because you don't have a sharp jawline, you can't sit with us. Or because you're fat or you're feminine, you cannot sit with us. Because no shade, when I think of like the gay people that y'all call weird, the them, theys, them, zays, the drama club, nerdy, geeky ass gays, those are the ones who really are inclusive. Those are the ones who we don't give a fuck about what you're doing as long as you're not harming yourself or other people. We don't give a damn. If you believe you a goddamn wolf, just make sure you wash your ass, bitch. What you want to be called? What's your wolf name? If you want to be a damn cat, round bitch, girl, Eartha Kitt kept doing that when she was not even Catwoman. So don't talk to me about that shit. I'm here in Detroit for the weekend because there was a band that performed at the first Pride here in Michigan, Ferndale Pride, by the name of Deadbeat Dad. Awesome electronic band, pop band. I believe the lead singer is a trans man who goes by them, they. And when I was there taking my pictures and recording because they're a dope ass motherfucking group, I didn't see the gays pulling out a damn double-fisted damn toy and just start bashing they shit in as the song was playing. None of that. It was a bunch of the blue hair, pink hair, magenta hair, black, white, Latino, Muslim, weird alternative people that were dancing, that were having fun, that were enjoying themselves while there were children all around. Ain't nobody put their titty out and licked it. Ain't nobody start flapping their ball. Ain't nobody did nothing of the sort. And see, if motherfuckers actually went to Pride and stopped being scared and stopped being a bunch of biatches, girl, and see for themselves, I'm pretty sure their tune would change. But it's going to be hard for Blaire and Amir to change their tune when the money's been paying for the tune-ups of the car and the tune-ups of the house and the tune-ups of the bills. And one thing about the Republicans, they going to pay good.
Like even from like poppers. I've never done poppers. I don't even know what it is. It kind of scares me.
What is that?
Hey, Queen Spicy.
I could be wrong, but I think it's some type of...
What's going on, Reed? What's going on?
Or it's like a gas or a liquid, because they don't come in a little can.
A gas?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or like it releases some vapors and then it kind of makes things loose so you can like enjoy other things.
Yes, that's what poppers is. Poppers is a vapor. I think it's like VHS cleaner, which I think is not healthy. No shade, but to each his own, girl. Just don't be doing that shit socially. You want to do poppers? Like, no, unless you're trying to stay dished and dangerous, whatever the case may be. But yes, poppers makes it easier for people to take stuff, especially if they like taking bigger-ish. And no shade, I have seen, not in person, but damn near close, the powers of poppers. And I'm still gagging to this day. Not gagging, but gagging like, oh my God. This is, I can understand why there are females that get mad because, baby, when you fucking a female, there's only so much length that you can go. But when you hit a nigga from the back, baby, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've never done anything like that, but the drugs are the big thing in the community and just the hookup culture. Like, I'm all fine. Like, if you want to live your life and you're being clean, do you? But for me, I don't know. I treat my body like a Lamborghini, and I'm not going to put unleaded gas in it.
As you should.
Premium gas in it, and a car cover on it. And
right.
I'm going to treat it with the utmost respect, and I'm glad.
Girl, and there's plenty of motherfuckers that got all type of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and all type of shit, girl, that be putting all that premium gas in it and all that type of shit, but be racing up and down the damn street in it with reckless abandonment, getting pulled over by the police and all type of shit. Just because you got a nice car doesn't mean you know how to drive it.
I didn't fall down that trap of like grinder every 2 seconds. That can be a lot for some people.
Right. Yeah, it's sad because also it's not just, I think, like necessarily feeling like out of lockstep, but it's also like the community will straight up like abuse you if you're different. For like a community that's so different than like, you know, straight people and like more mainstream society, you would think maybe they'd be like a little less judgmental, but I don't find that to be the case.
You would think so, especially preaching
Ooh,
about
AJ.
inclusivity, positivity, equality, unless we think different.
Right.
And then we're all of a sudden suffering from internalized homophobia, internalized transphobia.
Yes, Miss Mama, y'all kind of is suffering from that because, again, girl, y'all are aligned with the political party that does not want y'all or people like us. And you're telling us that we're the ones that's crazy, that we're the ones that don't know what the hell we're talking about, yet you haven't provided any proof on how the Republican Party is better for queer people. So you're saying that the Republican Party is more inclusive than the queer community? Am I missing something? People in the comment section, am I missing something? But again, when you got money and you working for the benefit of the people that are the oppressors, girl, yes, girl, if I was a house slave, I would talk shit too, bitch. That's why your ass burning up, bitch. At least I get to drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid before I serve it, bitch, because I'm the one cooking. I can steal me a little slice. I can have some of the food that the master is having. Your ass gonna have the scraps. Now, yes, I might get graped in this bitch. Yes, I might get popped in my head in this bitch. Yes, the mistress might whoop my ass one day because I piss her off because her nigga fucking me. But at least I'm not in the blazing sun, being put inside of metal boxes and shit in the blazing southern Georgia heat. That's what it's giving.
Hate your community, you're self-hating gay just for having a simple opinion.
And that's projection, I think, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've never like looked at someone and made a judgment call on like their heart and soul. And like, you can't know that kind of stuff about people. So to claim that.
Remember that. Because when they bring up a particular trans TikToker girl who is not passing, who says, fuck passing, I'm not going to do any sort of gender reassignment surgery. I'm not going to do any sort of hormonal or medical surgery, bitch. I'm going to walk in the transness that God, source, universe, consciousness has given to me. I want you to remember what she just said, because she just said you can't judge a person based. You got to get to know them in here internally. You got to know them. You can't just make a judgment call off of that. Just remember that.
It's kind of like, well, maybe you're saying that because that's something living inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, I've never had any, problems or qualms or even like remote insecurities about being
Come on, hit man, you hitting.
Maybe you've struggled ever being gay, but for me, I've always just known since I was a little kid, like I'm gonna be myself, however that manifests, and like anyone who has a problem with that, that's gonna be their problem, not mine. Yeah.
I struggled with being gay a little bit, especially when I first realized I was gay. That was in 5th grade. We're still friends to this day. His boy walked into class and I like fell in love with him. And I Googled boys liking boys and I was like, oh shit, like I'm gay.
You're like, oh, that's what that is.
And growing up, my mom, she told me that every single man on earth has a bubble of AIDS in their booty hole. And then when they have sex.
Hold on. Has a bubble?
A bubble of AIDS in their booty hole. And then when they have sex, it goes in, it pops, and then they both get AIDS and die. 8 years old. That's what I was taught. So traumatized.
Oh my God.
Giving her the smallest ounce of credit. She watched her uncle die in the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, the AIDS epidemic really traumatized a lot of people.
So I'm like, okay, but you didn't have to like traumatize me. But then
the Black community too suffered a lot from the AIDS epidemic, yeah.
And then I was outed, and then I got sent to conversion therapy, 2 weeks with the pastor.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did 2 weeks with the pastor, 2 weeks with the youth leader, who I swear was gay.
They always are.
The 2 weeks with the pastor was like a meeting on Mondays, Wednesdays, like 3 meetings a week, just talking about being gay and like praying the gay away. And then there was 2 sermons back to back that like directed at me. So I'm like sitting in the pew and he's like walking down the altar or whatever. He's like looking at me, talking about homosexuality. Then I did 2 weeks with the youth leader to talk about like, you know, praying the gay away, things like that. And then I did 2 weeks at my papa's farm to turn straight and do manly things. But he was like, I'm not going for this. Like, I'm not about to sit here and try to convert you, or we're still gonna like hang out and do stuff together, but I'm not gonna force you to be anything you're not. And it was his brother that was gay that died in the AIDS epidemic. So
now, before Blaire goes into the aspect with the whole trans thing and believing that gender affirming care is like a form of conversion therapy in a sense, it's far from a demonstrative aspect. Did y'all hear the ignorance that Amir's mother told him at a young age that every man has a pocket of AIDS in his hole, and if you happen to poke it, then especially with another peen, then it's going to pop, and then everybody's going to get AIDS. AIDS. Everybody's going to get AIDS. What happened if I ever take a big crap, Mom? Will it pop that then? What if I fart a little too hard? Will it rupture the AIDS sac in my mom? Being told that at a very young age. Right? Then, when he realized that he was gay, he had that feeling that all of us as gay people have, which is, oh my God, that's me. When something clicks, when something resonates, oh my God, that's me. And for a lot of queer people, it's never been like, oh my God, that's me. It's not a place of discovery. It's more so from a place of, oh my God, that's me. In reference to what they're going to deal with. Because when Amir was outed, because again, we know the story, Amir's friend said, heart my profile, heart my status, and I'll tell you what I love about you or something good that I appreciate about you. And Amir did. And she said, Amir, you're my gay best friend. And then mama heard it, and their relationship ain't never been the same. And it probably explains why Amir shows up the way that he shows up, because his mom told him and said, you can be gay, but don't be gay. You can be gay, but don't be gay. You can be gay, but don't you be too gay. Which can explain why he thinks the way that he thinks. And then imagine being outed, having someone that you love, someone in your family, literally respond in this way to you, and then go to motherfucking church, the place where there's supposed to be safety, a place where there's supposed to be refuge, a place where people are supposed to get their spirits and souls fed, a place where they're taught that, hey, all of these stories in this book, you can have your own unique expression, connection, manifestation, and restoration through organized religion, but being told as he walks past you and looks at you and starts talking about, oh, the homosexual shit and the hogget shit and the dick and the booty shit and the sweet sugary booty shit and all of the other booty shit. All these things being told to you at a young age. And then Amir reveals later on that because he dealt with that, he was cutting himself to deal with the bullshit in his fucking environment. And that he was literally going to unalive himself. But when he was able to move from where he was to a new place, if I'm somebody else, it never happened to me, then he decided to fly out the closet, girl. Sashay out the closet, bitch. Flew out the closet, girl, because he had fairy dust flying out his ass, girl. Twinkle, twinkle, little fart. And he was hella motherfucking advocate. He was more of a damn advocate activist than me. Nigga was wearing motherfucking Be Who You Are shirts. It Gets Better short shirts, starting GSAs at his school, all this other type of stuff. Because he was told, well, when I came out, that's what I thought being gay was. You had to be feminine. You had to be this. And again, all that is already implemented into children at a young age, because before his ass discovered that he was gay, because he was dealing with his mannerisms, it was other young boys and girls saying, why you act like that? Are you a boy? Are you a girl? My daddy say you a girl. Or got grown fupa ass niggas on platforms talking about every time I see a feminine, flamboyant black man, I just start crying. The same way that a lot of black women see a gay man and start crying. All that dick going away. I bet it look like it's heavy too. It's a damn shame. You ain't had the right one yet. Let me put this on you. Just all type of shit that queer people got to deal with. And here it is again at a young age, my nigga. He is telling the experience and the story. And you think that what you've been through is not going to happen to other children when you support the conservative party that pushes that onto children? But like someone said in the comments, or I'm sorry, CTV said in the comments, a part of me sympathizes for the raccoons because I know that the cooning is inspired by survival. As the old saying goes, when you can't beat the majority, some will join them to survive them. And we see both Blaire and Amir doing this, but yet failing in the application to get us to do the same.
So he had like firsthand knowledge that there's no point trying to change.
No shade, rumors, and no shade.
Had 10 siblings, and he had a gay sister and a gay brother. And this was back in the 50s. So there wasn't like really any indoctrination happening through media. It was just like his sister loved hanging out with the dad and like doing all the manly stuff outside and just lesbian. And then the brother loved being with the mom, cooking and doing more feminine stuff. And that's just what it was.
So this all happened without social media and Arthur and Sesame Street and Miss Rachel and motherfucking the Proud Family and Disney and Netflix and PBS and Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and all that stuff. This is before all this shit. And they just intuitively knew that. Interesting.
The conversion therapy piece is so crazy. I didn't know that you went through that. And I what's so crazy is like, have you seen, there's legislation now in Canada and they're trying to do it in California where they're trying to call like talk therapy, where the therapist pushes back on a kid like thinking that they're trans and wanting to transition. They call that now conversion therapy, to even offer any amount of like, well, are you sure, to the child, or to say like, well, maybe it's some other issue. So they're trying to co-opt this thing that a lot of gay people have really suffered from, which is conversion therapy for real, and politicize the term. It's so gross.
Which is so wrong, because conversion therapy itself is wrong, but also that is active conversion therapy, you trying to transition a kid in the first place.
100%. 100%.
Especially like when, for me, growing up, like when I first realized I was gay, I was like, damn, am I supposed to be a girl? Like, because girls like guys and I like a guy. It's like, am I trans? Am I supposed to be a girl? And obviously it's not the case. I can just be me. But it's unfortunate there's a lot of kids going through that. Yeah, it's just sad.
Do you feel like it wounded you long term? Do you think you're healed from that? Like, how did it affect you?
Pretty healed from that. It did. It was a mix on how it made me view Christianity, because on one end, I was able to separate all Christians from that experience because I already dealt with Christians who loved me for who I was.
That's good. But
it did put a stain on whenever I do come across a Christian that hates gays, I'm like more sensitive to it. I'm more like, like, well, why, or what's going on here? But for the most part, pretty fine. I just feel for the kids that went to like the actual camps.
Yeah, it can be really bad.
Because I didn't even go to like a camp. It was more so just in the church.
Kind of an unofficial, like they were calling it that, but it wasn't like one of the abusive systems necessarily. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Blaire, this would be the perfect time for you to explain, since you are the one that's a Christian and even trying to get Amir to explore Christianity. This would be the time for you to like highlight more of that. Because even when they talk about the conversion therapy and saying that, oh, well, you trying to transition a child is conversion therapy. Okay, let's go with that concept of conversion therapy. The difference between conversion therapy with religion and conversion therapy in reference to gender affirming care is that with a gender affirming care, it is patient led. It is led by the person who is coming in to get it. It is about what they feel, what they think, and that person trying to help them to manifest what it is that they're looking for. And we've heard people say that for people who are trans, gender affirming care, or gender dysphoria, that is the only thing that we have seen right now, scientifically, statistically speaking, that helps to remedy this. But when you think of conversion therapy in realms to religion, it's not patient-led, it's God-led. And God told me to tell you that that demon, that influence, that fracture in you needs to be healed, because until you do that, you're struggling. We literally did a live about it a few months or so ago, about how this isn't like, and again, when it comes down to transitioning, especially with children, I can agree with my perspective and my opinion. I do believe that for any sort of surgical or medical transitioning, the limit needs to be 18, or in some cases 16, because I think 16 is when you can legally emancipate yourself, if I'm not mistaken, from your family. So around that time. But Amir brings up something that he somehow forgets in this commentary with Blaire White, in reference to social transitioning. And I feel like that would be an awesome medium for a person of trans experience, especially if they are a youth, to start off with. Socially transition. Before you get to the physical manifestation, before you get to point B, you got to go through the journey to get to point B. So social transitioning would be great. They can put the hair on. They can put the makeup on. They can put the article of clothing on. They can put the shoes on. They can put the accessories on. They can put on the things or do the things or operate in the ways that society culturally okay, have defined women to behave and be and show up the social construct, we can start all that off in the home and then eventually outside of the home, because trans people are going to have to live outside of the house. And the unfortunate reality is that for a lot of trans people, not like trans people like Miss Blaire White, who has money, power, and privilege and passing privilege to protect herself. We're talking about all the regular schmegler trans people, even those that are not passable. They're dealing with harsh realities. And let's not talk about when you're black or a trans person of color. That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different intersection. That's a whole different subsection and chapter within itself. But we already know that the Republican Party and the Conservative Party at large are not going to allow social transitioning, because social transitioning is just another step in the trans shit, which to a lot of them, being trans is just another evolutionary leap and stride in homosexuality or hagadom, because they see all of it as gay. Just different intersections, levels, and tiers of gayness. Again, Amir said when he was younger, oh my God, was I a girl? Well, am I a girl? Interesting.
But yeah, it was wild. I mean, it sent me down a dark path. I mean, I have like the cut marks visible and all types of stuff.
Gosh, I didn't
It's
know you
crazy.
went through
Yeah,
this.
through it. Hell and back. It's been a
Oh my
long time,
gosh.
but it brought me to where I'm at today. And I wouldn't change anything about my past. But all that to say, literally, as much as I've gone through my life, I made sure to not, even though I fell into the trap of like having to be gay, and like when I first came out being so very performative, I realized that at a certain point I do control my life.
Not Amir's Christian
my
art.
how I'm
Soon.
viewing the world, and there's other ways I can go about certain situations. And I've kind of always had that independent mindset of like, I need to work hard for myself. I need to mind my peace. And there's other things people are going through that I'm not seeing, but like, I'm not gonna get too offended or triggered by how someone's looking at me. For example, in 9th grade, this guy threw a milk carton at me, which is ironic because I'm lactose intolerant. And he threw a milk carton at me. He's like, you faggot. And I just turned around and my lesbian friend was like popping off. I'm like, girl, calm down. And I brushed myself off and I threw the milk carton away and I went about my day. And people are like, you're not gonna fight him, you're not gonna beat his ass. And I'm like, no.
I was low-key hoping you were going to say you jumped in.
Me too. At this
I mean,
damn
Jamal
point.
would have, which Jamal is my inner black side. Like, Amir is very like
alter
kind.
ego.
Amir, yeah. And my middle name's Jamal, and Jamal's a hood nigga. Jamal will fight. Jamal will run up. Jamal don't give no fucks.
Okay, well, we need for Jamal. I want to talk to Jamal ass because I want to talk to the real nigga in charge, not this tap dancing one that we seeing. And I'm grateful that that was the only queerphobic experience that you have. But unfortunately, for a lot of other queer people, that is not how it ended for them. If anything, that's how it started for them. It started as throwing a milk carton. And there are plenty of queer people who literally walk away and choose not to engage. And what happens? The oppressors, the agitators, they end up increasing the level of aggression. They end up following people. They end up putting hands on people. And shout out to the lesbian that stood the fuck up. I guess the only man in the relationship or y'all friendship at the table, girl, since we playing y'all game by y'all rules, I'm going to talk the same way y'all talk, girl. The real man showed the fuck up and was ready to pop the fuck off on that cisgendered man. When you should have let Jamal come the fuck out. Because he could have whooped his ass and could have told him and every other queerphobic ass person, yeah, fuck with me if you want to. Then all the white twinks who were your friend probably would be fucking on you because they probably feel like, oh my God, this black guy makes me feel safe. And I get it. You pick and chose your battle and everybody has a right to do that. But when it comes down to shit like that, that shit needs to be checked. Because if I was in the same, if I had the same mindset that I had now, and I was in high school with Amir, and a motherfucker did that to Amir, the person that did that, me and him gonna have a problem. Because as soon as you throw some shit, bitch, I'ma throw some shit. Now what? That's what needs to happen. Once motherfuckers start saying queerphobic shit, bitch, get in it. What's going on? Is there a problem, issue? What's up? Especially if you're a child, especially if it's youth. Because how they develop as children, as y'all say, is going to affect them as adults. which is why motherfuckers can do all type of crazy ass shit, and a lot of people gonna do is just sit back and record. We got T for T in the building. Make sure y'all subscribe to T for T. You out the country, ain't you? You over in Africa, Zimbabwe, somewhere?
But yeah, I didn't care. I was like, he's going through bigger things at home, and I'm not really gonna give an F about it.
And that's such an elevated mindset to have at such a young age. I feel like I had a similar mindset where I knew, because I was getting called a faggot in like preschool before I even knew what it was. And obviously looking back now, I'm like, how did those 4 or 5 year olds know what that was? Imagine what their households were like to just be hearing that or to be exposed to things like that. So that's kind of goes along with like the trauma that I think a lot of people in the LGBT community experience. And I think that when you see the people who end up making choices that you and I didn't, which is like drugs, which is maybe an unhealthy lifestyle, that's that unresolved trauma. Like you've been able to like rise above all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it still lives in you and it paints who you are, but it hasn't dominated your spirit.
Right.
Whereas I think when I see a lot of trans people or gay people who you can just tell it does dominate their spirit, whatever they went through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It takes over their whole life, mindset, their attitude, how they're looking at the world, their personality, their friend groups, and they're all just a big group of just negativity.
And I'm glad you were able to just mentally separate like Christianity from the Christians around you that were behaving badly, or because that's another thing that I think that part of the reason why there's so much bad behavior is there's a lot of like godlessness in the LGBT community. And I don't know your current faith or anything, but when I say godlessness, I don't mean necessarily being a Christian or whatever, but they kind of feel like spirituality or religion is like off limits or antithetical to them.
No, I get exactly what you're saying. Even right after Charlie passed, that was like a very awakening moment of like, there is godlessness. There's just a lot of people that just don't care. There's no bigger meaning for them in the world. Like there's just a pit of nothing.
And that's so sad.
Yeah.
And because they hurt themselves more than anyone else when they kind of feel that way. And so, you know, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian now. I became a Christian about 2 years ago, and it's changed my life for the better. And I realized I've always had God even before really claiming a religion. And that's helped me so much throughout my life and helped me through everything I've been through. And that was, you know, I had to kind of grow up and not judge God or Christianity by Christians.
I was going to say, how has that journey been navigating, you know, yourself, your own relationship with the Bible, your own relationship with God, and then other Christians maybe telling you you can't be a Christian because you're trans or whatever that may be?
Which is so satanic, because why would you ever tell somebody that God is not for them? You know, that to me is like the opposite of God. I believe that God loves all of his children, every single person. I don't believe that anybody's above anyone else. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Christianity. There's no hierarchy in humans. Like we're all, you know, we need to be saved by Jesus. And I have talked about being a Christian online a lot, and it's been a lot of support, but obviously a lot of controversy too, because there's not really any other trans people with a public, you know, platform that kind of speak on that. And so, I mean, I'm happy to be the first to really do that, because I think it's important. I think that, you know, people that are gay or trans, they deserve to feel like they have a right to crack open the Bible too. They have a right to seek God or spirituality or like their higher self. And I think that anybody trying to strip them of that because they're gay or they're trans, like that is like the epitome of evil. Like, wouldn't you want them to have that relationship? And that's also what separates, not to be super Christian right now, but that's also what separates Christianity from like other religions, is it's about a personal relationship, an individual one-on-one, you and God. Whereas, you know, that means I don't have to go through other people's approval. I don't have to go through other people's opinions or interpretation of the Bible. You know, there's literally thousands of denominations of Christianity. So none of y'all can agree on anything. So I have my own.
Find my piece.
Right. So yeah, we'll keep going, but it's
no, it's great, because that's something I've been diving into a lot recently as well. My friends sent me Bibles. I've been in contact with a couple of different pastors in the Nashville area to go to church with them.
That's cool. Yeah.
I was pretty much atheist from like 7th to like 11th grade. And then I was like, well, how do I know? I kind of feel like atheism is kind of its own religion, and that like you're being like, oh, there is nothing. And then I took a ton of shrooms. And I was like, oh, wow.
That'll
like
do it.
this world is huge, there's something bigger than me, and there's a bigger presence, and that really shook me down the like more religious path as well. So,
and that's amazing because that was part of me cracking
Now, before
open
they
sort of
go
my,
forward
like, spirituality.
into that, before we go forward into that, I'm confused here. You are surprised that Christian people at large, because again, there are those who are true members of the body of Christ. For example, shout out to Faith is the Substance. She operates in Christ energy and in Christ love. But when those people create affirming spaces or loving spaces, those same affirming and loving spaces are then monopolized or challenged by the bigger fucking system, which again, you want people to come to Christ and have a personal relationship while living in a world with people who are going to question that and then put that question into law. Yeah, call me back, as you said, with the Carfax, because the CTV said on the screen, wait until Blaire pulls the Carfax on the homicidal, genocidal, sexist, patriarchal, child sacrificing cult of Christianity and realize she traded one cult for another, or is she willfully obtuse and grifting? I believe that she is grifting. Because, and I'm ignorant to this point because I don't know a lot or seen a lot of her commentary, but I need to see the videos of Miss Mama sitting here having conversations with other Christians about, hold on, wait a minute. We are all connected to God. We are all worthy of God's love. And I mean, really getting off in that. You already in the Republican Party where a lot of those people don't share the same fucking viewpoint as you. Why aren't you challenging them? Because as CTV said, which is very, very true, one of the irrefutable, non-negotiable traits of leadership is that leaders are going to always hold themselves accountable first before anything else. So if you're trying to get queer people, especially queer people who don't believe in organized religion or Christianity, to see your perspective and for them to tap into the God within them, then you're going to have to show them how to do that and lead the way and protect them from the wolves outside of the fold that want to eat up all the motherfucking sheep that need to be saved by Christ. And I don't think you're doing that. Again, ignorantly speaking, you could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, correct me. But you got to make that make sense. And I am grateful that Amir and Blaire can separate that, because that's what we should be doing. We should be getting to know someone and judge them off the content of their character. Get to know that individual, that person as themselves. Yes, we need to do that. Absolutely. But your party at large is not going to do that at all, because they're going to lump them together, all together, which is why y'all got to come out and do damage control, PR control anyway. Not to help your community, but to appease the heterosexual gods and hoping that they don't destroy the queer community. And yes, Amir and Blaire are living on a different type of reality than the reality of so many other queer people in this world. And if it's all these adults, just imagine what the fuck the children got to go through.
As well, was experimenting with stuff like that. And, you know, for anybody who thinks that's wrong, that's fine to have your opinion too on like psychedelics and stuff. But, you
exactly,
know, in biblical
AJ.
times, they called it angel food because it gave you access to like a higher plane.
Swear psychedelics was way more prevalent in our like history as humans than it is now. And I think banning it and people even going as far as like people taking it for like partying and not so much like self-discovery.
I hate that.
Has done so much harm. Like I've done a lot of psychedelics in a lot of different times, and
it's not a party
mainly
drug.
been by myself. Like in college, I would take some like, hey, I'm going to my room, and like you're gonna die, you're not gonna be okay. And I'm like, I'm sane in my head. I have my journal, I have my headphones, I have my snacks, and I'm locking myself in my room. And those have been the most transformative moments of my life. Yeah,
you can really explore parts of your consciousness that maybe you don't have full access to when you're not in that state.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I also agree that especially for like medicinal purposes, that's why I like what Rogan did recently, like getting Trump to kind of get that ball rolling.
Agreed. Okay, not everything labeled family friendly is appropriate for families.
Oh my, stop.
So
Is that a grandma stripping?
first
There's
off,
so many things wrong with
with
it.
the granny panties, this is a problem with family-friendly pride parades
Oh, is that a pride? Okay.
Yeah, family-friendly events, because we don't know what's going to be on that stage. We don't know what's family-friendly. I think pride stuff like this, if you're gonna have, I don't think kids need to be there at all, anyways. But I think a middle ground would we have a rating, like how we have, like if you go to the movies and you're seeing a PG movie,
Right.
you know that movie's PG. And if it's not, they're getting fined, it's getting taken down, whatever it may be. So if you're gonna have a G-rated family-friendly pride event, why is this there?
That is insane, because it's like she's not even in any sort of like fun like pride garb. She's just an old grandma stripping. And what these kids look like, they're 4 years old.
They're all about I would say 4, 5, 6.
And you know, I did a video it was like Pride 2024, I believe, where I saw this same thing. It was like drag performances to the raunchiest songs, stripping, all that stuff in front of kids. And this is the stuff that gets the rest of society to look at us all and be like, what in the world are you doing?
They're saying
Meanwhile,
F all gays because of this.
right. Meanwhile, it's like, I don't even go to this type of stuff. I'm sure you don't either. So it's real. And to go back to what we were kind of talking about before about the like the godlessness in the community, like this is the fruit from that tree, right? It's like not having a proper grasp mentally on what is family friendly. So like not only do gay people have, like, it's obviously much more difficult for them to have kids, and most of them don't. Probably the overwhelming majority don't.
Yeah.
So that automatically kind of separates you from a big part of the community, which is children. So you lose sight of like what's appropriate. And then on top of that, if maybe you had trauma growing up, maybe you were exposed to things that weren't appropriate as a kid.
And
So
you
that,
just find it to be normal.
right. So that's been normalized for you. But then you have, you know, regular people and families, and those of us in the community that don't agree with it, that just look at it like you're absolutely insane.
Yeah.
These are people. Okay, now first of all, with that clip that Amir put in there, which I guess was a gotcha moment. If it's such a gotcha moment, then we need to know the name of these prides. And I need for y'all to be like, well, hey, when it comes down to Pride Month, this particular pride is not family friendly. They have old grandmas stripping and shit to pony. They have all this other type of shit that's not family friendly, whatever the case may be. But if you want a completely family friendly PG experience, go to the Turning Point USA pride event. Like, you have the ability to be the change that y'all wish to seek. Secondly, a lot of y'all don't even go to motherfucking pride events. So I love how y'all be talking shit about pride, but y'all don't even go. Now, they both went as far as to have conversations, but to actually pay attention. Like, if y'all are in those spaces, where are the cameras recording all of the quote unquote hedonistic behavior that y'all say y'all don't participate in? And listen to what they said. They didn't say this particular pride family event. They said family friendly pride, generalizing all of it. And I was at a pride event yesterday. I didn't see little kids throwing old, stale, used U-shaped condoms at big ass motherfucking alien dildos on the street talking about, I won. I didn't see that. I saw children being pushed around in their strollers. And hell, I should have took a picture of this one when I was there, but there was a family where there was a boy wearing a dress. And maybe the reason why they brought that child to the pride event, not because the child is possibly queer, but the fact of, if the child wants to wear a dress in public, at least this will be a safe space where motherfuckers ain't gonna bully him or judge him like if he was to wear that at school or outside of the house in a space that was not queer friendly. And someone said it in the comments earlier. It annoys me when professionals aren't talking about this, because how do I know that this is the truth and is based in fact? Well, one way is to educate, to study, to show thyself approved. That's one way to do it. And again, Amir made buku amount of money and is going to admit that he could have made more money. He could have had more of the bag if he would have removed the music, because he got a copyright strike on that damn channel for that video that he put out containing this clip. It's like you're making money off of lies and stuff. And when you finally go to a pride event, girl, it was so bad you had to go talk to somebody outside the pride event to get some sort of Republican conservative viewpoint that is more on alignment with Fox News and PragerU and all them. And the real reason why these individuals are after children when it comes down to queerness is because they want more children to grow up and produce more children, because those are more workers. Those are more victims that can be victimized. That's more currency used to keep all of the oligarchs and to keep all of the materialistic, egotistical, maniacal, capitalistic people happy. Because of shit like this, with Amir and Blaire speaking about things that they're not fully educated on. It's okay to have your own anecdotal experience, but it's not just your anecdotal experience. You have to learn about the experiences of other people. And I'm a nigga that's really trying to get to the gray area. And I'm not even getting paid for this. I don't even really be getting cash apps like that. Now, if you want to send a cash app, you definitely can. Okay, cash app, $, $conscious TV with a Z, girl. Send it to him and put in the note that this is for Bubs. So if you want to bless the leprechaun and put a little bit of pot in me, go pot. Put a little pot. Well, pot too if you want to do some. Hey, Bubs, we noticed that you ain't smoking today. You good? Do you need to re-up on something? Here go $20, $30. Go get you a couple packs of motherfucking pre-rolls. No shade, y'all can do that. No shade. And T for T, you moved. You don't even live in America. You live in Durban, South Africa. I know that's right. Okay, he went and got himself what it is that he needs. You are my African king, nigga of my dreams. You make mine go ching-a-ling-a-ling, yeah. Whoa, being queer trans is anti-capitalist. And here's the funny part. Just because two males and two females can't come together and procreate, I still have the anatomy, and I'm holding my shit right now in my hands. I have the anatomy to bring life in this world if I want to. Lesbian females have the ability to bring life in this world if they want to. And on top of that, there are other ways to bring life into this world. Artificial insemination. I forgot what the other one is called. And hell, y'all talking about bringing life into this world. When we look at the foster care system, there are over 300,000 children in the system to this date. So sometimes we ain't got to bring life into this world. We can just take care of the life that a lot of heterosexual people did not want. See how the queer community can be very complimentary? Huh? Thank you. They act like that means that you can lose it. Thank you. Come through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But these are the talking points. And no shade, the only motherfuckers between Blaire and Amir that can really have children now is Amir, because Blaire can't, because Blaire is a transsexual now. Now she can't procreate unless she got a little bit of tadpoles floating, frozen on ice somewhere. And according to organized religion, and to your point, the capitalists, she done fucked it up for herself, because the only thing that brought value to her life as far as the system is concerned, she done removed it. That's a damn shame. Queen Stevie said, I don't want kids. I got a toy poodle, Fendi, Dior, and Mugler. Those are the kids I need. No shade. And on top of that, kids are expensive as hell. They're expensive as hell. And no shade. I don't have to worry about getting it in and I'm in that motherfucker, girl, and I just go ahead and shoot the club up, girl. I ain't got to worry about no bitch. Okay, I got to worry about no, so you're having my baby, girl. If I have kids, it's going to be because I am prepared to have them. So I don't have them problems. Too bad, so sad for those who do. No shade. Put a condom on.
When's the last time you were at Pride?
It was the 2024. I did a video.
Actually, I was going to say, because I've been to do a video. Have you ever gone as a participant?
No.
Like to celebrate?
That part, AJ,
I just went to
through.
this one to film a video, and it was crazy because I always underestimate, like, you know, we do videos and we have large audiences and people know who we are, but like I always underestimate like real life stuff. And I went and it was like just so much hate coming at me in real
Did you have a
life.
bodyguard?
No, I should have had a
bodyguard.
I just had Joey filming me, but so he's busy filming. But the security there was like following me around. They kicked me out, all because I was just there asking regular questions.
So much for respecting and diversity and trans inclusivity.
Right. It's
Hell yeah, girl. Y'all talking about include. We see how your party deals with DEI, bitch. So don't get mad when we say you can do your DEI shit outside the Pride event. You want to talk to motherfuckers? Talk to motherfuckers in line while you're on a public space, a sidewalk. Don't come inside the Pride trying to fuck up the vibe and the environment. You be like them goddamn protesters that be across the damn street and interview motherfuckers from there if that's what you want to do. And shout out to Blaire going in there, girl. Even though the nuts are no longer there, girl, she got bigger nuts than motherfucking Amir. Because Amir is a motherfucking nigga that work out and throw ass, girl, and needed a big, strong, strapping white male to be able to be his damn bodyguard. And that motherfucker literally had PTO that day. Paid time off, girl, because he ain't do a damn thing. So shout out to Blaire.
a lot of hypocrisy. And I mean, this is like, how's it even legal? You can't take a kid to, if she was stripping in a club.
That's my thing, especially like with like the drag queen story hours and all that.
Call me back.
If I want to see a drag queen do their job, I have to give an ID, go into the club. I see them. They're stripping down with people throwing ones at them. And then you're going to say, well, it's fine if they're like reading the kids. Okay, well, are you fine with a stripper reading to a kid just because they're not stripping at the moment?
Hell yeah, because some stripper bitches are stripping to get money. They got to pay for college. College ain't paying for itself. And there's a bunch of dumbass niggas like some of y'all preachers, pastors, reverends, deacons, pushers, and pimps that's willing to spend all the church fund money, funding the sun with the church, building money fund, all on a bitch. So yes, Miss Stripper Mama gonna be on her P-Valley shit down in the valley where the hoes get naked, girl. And when she come back home, she is no longer the stripper. She is the mother because she's multifaceted. Secondly, Amir, the reason why that you have to have an ID to be able to go inside of a gay club, girl, is not because there are going to be go-go boys in underwear and shit walking around. It's not going to be because the drag queen is in an adult space, which now we can listen to the music that is explicit. We can do some explicit shit because we're all adults in this bitch. The reason why you have to provide ID is because a bar sells alcohol. And you have to be 21 years of age to drink. That is the reason why it is required for people to get into the club. I have seen plenty of drag queens perform. There's a drag queen here in Detroit by the name of Sabin. Bald head bitch. Bald head white girl. Girl, sometime her drag be so damn striking, I'd be like, bitch, are you a vampire? But she is one of my favorite drag queens. When she does her shit on Friday nights at Gigi's Bar and Grill. Shout out to them. Yes, she's cussing. Yes, she's using adult language and adult humor. Just like a bunch of adults watch a bunch of adult shows that have adult language and humor. I'm trying to put language and humor together, girl. Humor. Those individuals who do that. But when it's time to be around the children, when it's time to be family friendly, people know how to tone it down. Just like how some of y'all pastors be touching on motherfuckers and shit like that. But when he gets on the podium on Sunday, he is a different person. It's the same thing. Now, if we're talking about the harm, you got to prove it, because we can prove that some of y'all pastors out there doing fuck shit. Can you prove that the drag queens are doing that, girl? I feel like if there was any way to harm children, choosing between a minister a man of the cloth or a drag performer, I feel like the man of the cloth would probably be the more proper choice if that was the case, because at least you get to hold people's soul salvation over their head, which means that if you are a discovered girl, I still got the keys to heaven, bitch. And if you give me your damn daughter, then maybe we can make this work out. Because like CTV said, if Miss Mamas would have done her Carfax on how organized religion works, girl, back in the day, baby, you can go ahead and buy your plot in heaven. You can go ahead and get your mansion already in heaven, girl, by putting down the down payment of giving your child up to the church. See, y'all don't like talking about this. Y'all don't like speaking about this. because it destroys the reality that so many of y'all played into. Because people like myself who grew up in organized religion, Blaire has been a Christian for 2+ years. I grew up in that shit. Was in spaces and places when it came down to organized religion that Miss Mamas ain't gonna never get now that she's an openly transsexual woman. And I saw how they treated queer people. They gonna have queer people serve in the church to a certain degree. They ain't gonna lead nothing. If anything, they're going to lead the choir. They're going to be using their gifts and talents. But as far as getting on the pulpit and being able to have influence over the motherfucking people by way of word, spoken word through way of Bible, no, they're not going to do that. So they can serve, but leave your humanity at the door when, in all actuality, that's the one thing that God wants to see and know more of, right? They act like every drag performance is the ones they like to go to, the adult club performance. No, there are plenty of drag queens that do drag queen bingo. They have drag brunches. Again, Hamburger Mary's in LA. Shout out to Hershey Liqueur. Yeah, they bring children there and stuff like that. And on top of that, if we're going to have that same thing and they're going to mention it or whatever, but Blaire's going to be like, it's really not that bad. No, Miss Mamas, if the drag queens can't read to the children because you feel like whenever the parents turn their back, the drag queen is flashing their private parts at them, I'm going to need for you to not take these boys to Hooters. I don't want to see no videos, no pictures of some motherfucking kid, little boy, 12 years old, looking at some titties like, matter of fact, I don't even want you to take your damn children to the beach. We got to regulate the beach now. Can't wear bikinis. If you got big ass titties, cover it up, bitch. You need to be over here looking like a goddamn Muslim woman, bitch, on the beach. You ain't showing nothing. Everything is just flowy and billowy. There's going to be no sort of nothing. So if you go to the beach and you see a woman walking in a bikini that's a little too skimpy, you gotta change. You better turn on that church mother spirit and grab a bitch and put a towel over a hoe and be like, nope, there are children present. I need y'all to commit. Don't just commit when the homosexuals are doing it. I need y'all to commit all the way through because that would be what is known as fair. But we know a lot of y'all don't want fairness. Y'all want supremacy. And I'm sorry, heterosexual people, Christian people at large who share the same thought processes as Amir and Blaire, I want to let you know by way of BubzDaGawd, sorry, y'all don't own all of reality. Your Bible does not own all of reality. Your interpretations do not own all of reality. The only reality that you are in control of 24/7, 365 when you took your first breath and when you take the last one is your own internal world, which yes, you definitely need to take care of. But once you start taking care of your internal world, guess what? When motherfuckers try you outside, bitch, is going to be a whole nother situation. And unfortunately, this administration is pushing us back into survival mode. So when you talk about queer people healing, now they're being pushed back in the same environment that they had to heal from. And if protecting ourselves by way of violence has to be the choice this time, then this is going to be the motherfucking choice. But just like with black people, when it comes down to racism, I don't think you want to fuck with a group of people who have 400 plus years of pent up shit. So toxic, girl, that we started eroding from the inside out. Now, what would happen if we were to heal that erosion on the inside and then we projected that shit outside of ourselves in reference to defense? Because there's a bunch of motherfuckers that healed. What are you talking about? Marsha P. Johnson, a very revolutionary, trailblazing ass trans woman, had no choice but to walk in her truth. That takes a level of fucking healing. Are you kidding me? Sylvia Rivera, the same thing. Bayard Rustin, the same thing. RuPaul, the same thing. T.S. Madison, the same thing. Conscious TV, the same thing. These people had no choice but to love themselves, but they also are aware of the system that they're in. And we just letting y'all know that when history records what happens, we are not going to let them forget about those who play these type of whole-stro games in our faces. They forget drag is a tool. Okay, you already said that. I think. Also, I'm tired of respectability politics. They try to preach relating to LGBTQ plus issues. How well did that work for black people over the Come on now. And keep your ass away from the French Quarter. Means you better motherfucking throw some goddamn bones at the goddamn wall. All that French Quarter shit and that damn hoodoo voodoo shit. You better get these motherfuckers.
Like, what are we doing here?
Right. Can we invite Beverly from Hooters to come? I guess even Hooters is like not as bad, but like
no, it is bad. It is bad.
Stuff, I hate it. I don't know why it's still so prevalent. You would think that there would be some sort of like awareness of like you said earlier, like PR, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe don't have the grandma stripping in front of little girls. Like
playing Pony, which for the audience, Pony by Genuine's playing.
It's the grifting part.
That's going to be like some stock audio you're going to be hearing, but Pony is playing.
What's the lyrics? Is it bad?
It's just like, if you want it, let's do it, ride it, jump on it. But funny enough, I would say that it doesn't matter. I reacted to this clip in a video I did about why Pride parades aren't family friendly. And I purposely missed out on a bag because I included this clip in its entirety because I wanted them to hear the song.
Oh, so it wasn't monetized.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like in 1 million views.
But you know what? Yeah. It was still the right thing to do so people could really know how demented it is.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Wow.
I went to Pride twice. First time, I was a minor. I was 16, and I won a twerking competition. I'm sure there's video out there somewhere.
If y'all got that video,
twerking competition
in
Nashville, and then
not just participate, you won.
Yeah, no, I won.
Oh my gosh.
Upside down, the whole nine. I can get down.
Not the acrobat.
Well, I don't know about getting down. We saw what you did before, and that was kind of nice. I'm just curious because it's like, here it is at a young age, you won a twerking contest. So obviously you learned how to twerk outside of Pride. It wasn't like as soon as you walked in, oh girl, my booty moving, bitch. I don't know what's happening, but I just feel it taking me over. It was nothing of the sort. You already knew how to do that. And let's use that clip for example. Because I already told y'all what the remedy is, girl. Y'all can just say, don't go to this Pride, girl. Go to this Pride. Girl, this word is slipping out my mind, girl, because I got some shit going on in the background that's kind of throwing me off, girl. But go to this alternative Pride because this Pride is better than this particular one. But let's just say, again, going with that clip, that was a Pride event and that happened. Okay, cool. That is the discretion of the parents. Because just like y'all say, not my child. My child ain't gonna do this. My child ain't gonna. You can do what you want to do with your child. You got to send us a damn note and a damn permission slip to get us permission, to give permission for them to do this or not go or whatever. Like all of this. Okay, then. Well, if that's the case, those same parents brought their children there, and those parents don't see everything wrong. Maybe the reason why they brought their children there to be able to see that is to be able to teach their children at a young age not to fucking sexualize everything like their fucking parents do. I grew up with my dad saying all type of sexual jokes and shit. His friends saying sexual jokes and shit. Going to the barbershop hearing sexual jokes and shit. At church hearing sexual jokes and shit. At a young age. So maybe they're teaching their children not to sexualize everything, that people have different fucking bodies. And as long as we ain't seeing no nipples and no balls and we're not seeing no sort of real sexual itch going on, if somebody strip it down, I don't give a damn. And yes, the song Pony. How many parents play different type of songs for their children? This is one content creator that I do follow and I like on Instagram. Her name is Muffy. I forgot her name, but she has a autistic son. They call him BubzZz. It's your boy Chuck E. Cheese. Also known as BubzZz. She playing trap music around them. What's your new name? My name is BubzZz. BubzZz, goddamn. Don't say goddamn again. Goddamn. Don't say goddamn again now. Goddamn. There are children right now on TikTok, girl, doing the latest motherfucking TikTok dance and shit like that. It ain't just Midnight Sun, which is my shit, but it's also the trap shit too. There are literally parents riding around in the car right now with their children, blaring, "You ain't gotta say too much from the look in your eye. I can tell you wanna, girl," all type of Usher songs, all type of R. Kelly songs, all type of sexual songs. So let's not, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes down to queer people, it's a problem and an issue. But when it's y'all, it's not a problem nor an issue. And this y'all world, it's a heterosexual world, so y'all have more of the dominance, right? Y'all have more of the control, right? So if you're going to say that about us, again, if y'all trying to be leaders, y'all going to have to lead by example. And y'all leading horribly if this is the commentary towards queer people. Because just like CTV said, these motherfuckers on the screen realize that they can't beat the party, so they're joining them. And I wonder what's going to go through their mind when the onslaught actually fucking goes the fuck down and they have to deal with the thought in their head. As much as they're saying that they're healed, whole, and aligned and complete, and you care about community, how you're going to see the community literally be fucking ripped apart. It's going to be a very interesting time.
I can get down. I be dipping, diving, twirling, diving, all over these concerts.
Lil Kim and Cupcake.
That, and then I went, like when I was a senior or my freshman year of college, now it's like my last moment of like, this is kind of weird. Like, this is, I don't really see the point of this anymore. It's kind of turned to like who wears the least parades.
Right.
It doesn't really represent me.
And how sad that you were able to understand that at such a young age. And then there's grandmas who are still up in it.
And last time I went was 2 years ago. I did an interview as well. And yeah, people were insane.
And then not to mention, it's never just like gay people there that are just like gay because they like men, or trans people because they transition. It's like fetishists. It's like people who have
the kink
really
stuff.
Alternative like sexual desires, like more alternative than even just being gay. So like the idea that kids would be around it is just so demonic.
Which gay people, they've messed up when it came to like the children, because straight people, they have festivals like this. They have kink festivals. They be on them swinger cruises, swinging festivals.
And they're like, very strict, no kids.
Very strict, no kids. They mind their business. They keep it low key. But gay people, they're like, look at what we're doing. Here's everything. Here's our bits and pieces. And it's
well, that's that pride, right? Like,
says a bunch of motherfuckers who never went to Pride for real, for real. Now, have I seen people walking around with fucking leather daddy masks on and a little harness thing going around it? Yes, I see that. But those are articles of clothing. I don't see nobody walking around dick just out. I don't see anyone walking around booty hole just out and proud, because that would be known as indecent exposure. Now, I don't know. Maybe the whole leather thing just also comes back from the 60s and 70s, because when we had the Village People, there were different types of gay people. I guess they were doing that for. Again, I'm speaking ignorantly on that. And no shade. To Amir's point, yes, there are heterosexual adults that have swinger events, freak offs, freak fests, and all that type of shit. And yes, the gays have their own version too. But just like those heterosexual people, they have stipulations and requirements. First of all, ain't gonna be no children around. And then on top of that, when we talk about black gay spaces where they getting ready to have sex, baby, trust and understand, baby, it's certain levels of shit that's unrealistic. You got to look this way. You got to have this six pack. You got to look. If you don't fit a certain aesthetic or appearance, they're not going to let your ass in. And those events are very private. Those events are very low key. And let's just say in certain spaces that are very liberal, just for the sake of the conversation, that there are people that are doing things that are considered more adult themed and oriented. Those spaces are sectioned off. See, it's the adults that see an old lady taking her clothes off as a sexual thing. But I bet you if it was a cis woman who had all the right curves, okay, bitch, she's a bad mama, had all that type of stuff stripped in front of the kids, you ain't gonna be worried about the kids. Maybe the mama is, but you're gonna be like, hold on, wait, hell no, because this is a test to see if his ass gonna be a fag, and I want to see if you gonna pass that test. Because if not, I got passed on speed dial right now. It's not the same. It's not the same. I wouldn't be up here giving my commentary right now if it was the same. But there is no equal balance here on the level of accountability. Now, if you want queer people to be accountable, I'm with that, because you need to be accountable of self first, above all things. Then that's the only way you can properly help other people. But you also have to comprehend. You have to listen to what other people are saying and also put yourself in those environments and challenge your motherfucking ego. As a person who is an introvert my damn self and don't really being around a large group of people or crowds of people and shit, I still have to put myself in situations because my blessings are in there somewhere. They're not just going to be at the house. So if Amir and them were willing to have these conversations with other people that think like them publicly and consistently, then maybe we can find a gray area. But because their bag is attached to their YouTube identity, social media identities, they're never ever really going to be objectively true, because if they do, they're going to have to lose off on a bag more. And Amir already regret losing a damn bag by putting that Pony Genuine song, which if he was smart, he would have put the stock version in there and then would have put in the description box down below. If you want to hear the actual song that's in the video, click this link. But see, that means that a lot of the people that support you and watch you would have to have a fucking brain to actually go down to the description box and challenge to see and study to show themselves approved. And we know a lot of them are not, because they rely on y'all quick bites and y'all sound bites to be able to protect their already weak ass logic and perspectives any damn way. Girl. Before BDSM community could have their mainstream events in heterosexual culture, it only had queer mainstream spaces. So that's why BDSM is so relevant in Pride. Don't get me wrong, events should absolutely use discretion for such events open to families. And I'm with that. But again, they feel like that's happening at every Pride. That's overwhelming the aspects of Pride. And what Amir and them don't understand is that Pride is to celebrate people still being here. And also, I think that we as gay men, including myself, need to learn how to have more healthier conversations surrounding sex, because they don't mind talking about sex in the barbershops, in the churches. I love my husband. I'll take care of you later. Now, I know you said that you need to wash his back, mama or mother, but I'm going to wash more than that. Amen. Everybody laughing, clapping. Woo, I know that's right. We see it in television, movies, commercials, all this shit that is very fucking sexual. So again, when it comes down to queer people, I don't want to hear shit. Clean up your own shit first, then talk to the queer community.
Literally, like, y'all literally named it after a deadly sin. Like, why would you do that? It's like if you had like a greed parade.
Yeah.
Just like being just so gross about money, or like a sloth parade. Well, I guess if you're too lazy, you wouldn't be a parade. But a gluttony parade. Everyone just, well, I guess they have those too. The
food festivals and shit.
People. Yeah,
food festivals be lit.
That sounds kind of fun. I'm kind of hungry.
Not greed about to fuck y'all up more than lust could or pride.
Speaking of demented, if we actually care about protecting kids, we should be able to have honest conversation.
Now, before we end this live, because at 9 o'clock there's supposed to be a live stream that I'm supposed to be paying attention to. No shade. So we're gonna end this pretty soon. I might be a little bit late to it, but we're gonna have to come through with a part 2, which I kind of figured anyway because I got a late start on here. But I want y'all to take a listen to this part, because again, Amir puts up there, if we actually care about protecting kids, we should be able to have honest conversations. And I do agree with that. Now let's look at their perspective, their interpretation of what they believe an honest conversation is.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers, but you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay if you cry.
So with all the bravery she could muster, Josie held on tight as another chapter.
Okay. Oh my God, that makes me want to cry. First of all, I just recognized this family, and this is probably unsurprising, but this child is now a young adult and is on OnlyFans. That was like you know what? I want to be super sure. And I also saw that the mom there transitioned as well. So it has nothing to do with this child genuinely having any sort of thing. Like, this is pure indoctrination by the mother, the sick mother. Notice there's never a father there.
Never.
You know what I mean? So fathers, please step up. Like, hopefully
And
your father's
I'll
alive.
insert clips right here. There's many clips of like lesbian parents, even like some straight mom parents are like, oh, my 1.5-year-old's trans, my 3-year-old's trans, my 2-year-old's trans. How do you feel about that?
I'm as trans as they get. I'm a transsexual. I transitioned, and I, you know, this isn't an ego thing. It's like, I'm saying, for as an example for people, I'm one of the most recognizable transsexuals in the world.
Yeah.
I did not know that I was trans at 3. Perhaps I felt different. Like I said, in preschool, I was getting already called a faggot because, you know, I had a natural like feminine walk and like my voice never dropped. And so maybe there's something biological that was happening there. But in no way did I know or think that that meant that I was ready for like medical intervention to alter my body, to sterilize myself. The idea that you can know that as a child, you don't apply that to anything else. California is a sanctuary state, quote unquote, for trans kids. So basically, you can have 2 parents, and even if they disagree on if their child should be allowed to transition, if one of them wants it, they can sign off and the child will be transitioned in California.
That's literally abuse.
It is. And guess what you can't do in California until 18, though? Guess what they're very strict about? You cannot use a tanning bed until you're 18 in California, but you can have your breasts removed. You can go on hormones that sterilize you for life if you say you're trans.
Which that alone doesn't make any sense because, and it's, I don't even want to bring it up, but
Bring
it
it
gets
up.
into like the MAPS people because they are,
Yeah.
if you're going to say, and I think it's wrong, but like if a child cannot consent to have sex, which I don't think they can, why are you saying they can consent to change their sex for life?
Right.
They can't have sex, but you're agreeing that they can just chop it off or do whatever they want.
Not to mention, you know, it's not even true that you can change your sex. Like, I didn't change my sex, right? Like, I altered my appearance and like my physiognomy and stuff like that to like live in a way that I want, but that has nothing to do with actually changing your sex.
Right.
That's impossible.
Would you say that you openly say you are a trans woman, biologically male?
Yeah, and you cannot change that at the end of the day. So just the entire lore around what the process even is and isn't is incorrect. It's full of like, I already know exactly what that demented doctor, I know exactly what politics she has. I know exactly the things she believes just based on this small clip. And that's dangerous because you don't want to have a doctor coming at a medical, non-reversible thing with some sort of slant or ideology.
You're making people not trust doctors. It's very like COVID reminiscent where, especially before COVID, well, not even that because of that, because like I never took a flu vaccine. But
Me
before COVID,
either. I not one.
Not
and guess what? I
one.
never have the flu ever.
Come on now.
Hello.
I've never been into like big pharma, but like I trusted doctors more because it was like,
Now we're gonna pause in this part because they're gonna talk about doctors and stuff like that, and I kind of want to say this toward the end. I have a PDF like file slideshow thing that I'm gonna put up like right motherfucking now. Okay. Now, I heard the name Josie and I typed it up because as I was listening to it, I didn't hear the name. And I wish that Amir or Blaire, when Blaire talked about it and said she recognized it, I wish she would have stated their full and last name, the full name, first and last name. So when I did my research, you know, because I do my best to study show that self-approved to be able to verify what's being said about these individuals. Okay. Now, based off of the information that I put in reference to the clip about her not starting hormones till a certain time, I put that time, and as far as the age is concerned, that it was a clip, and I tried my best to match them up based by face and pictures. So what you're looking at on the screen, what you see on the screen right now, is both Cody and Eric Mason, if I'm not mistaken. Corey is on the left and Eric is on the right. This is a parent and child duo that decided to transition. we're going to get a little bit of backstory into this. And again, if this is the wrong one, because I asked questions, baby. That's why I was a little bit late too, because I was trying to make sure I knew exactly what the hell I was talking about. And if I'm wrong, I stand in accountability. I'm not beyond reproach. Just make sure you educate me, because I'm going to still do my due deals. Just point me in the right direction. But since they didn't, I took it upon myself to educate myself. So this is, again, Corey and Eric Mason. So let's take a look at who they are, okay? Now, I ended up asking AI, and I said, okay, then, well, I put in the elements of the video and the claim that Blaire White made in reference to, well, now both, the mother, the child is now an OnlyFans content creator, and that the mother transitioned as well. So again, in Blaire's mind and the conservative people's mind, that is just their idea, or what they feel like is the gotcha moment of the trans ideology, that eventually you're going to all transition and y'all going to be some freak assholes pushing that trans shit everywhere else, even though Blaire White is a transsexual woman. These people are transgender, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't even have the surgery, if I'm not mistaken. But I asked AI. AI said, yes, the core elements of the story discussed in the video by Amir Odom and Blaire White are factually true. Okay, in reference to the transitional aspect, though there is an important detail regarding who the adult performer actually is. Now, they are referring to the Mason family from Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to the D, okay, who became famous in 2016, 2017 as the world's first widely publicized parent-child duo transition. Here is how the facts break down. Let me make this full screen so I can read everything. The mother's transition. That is true. The mother of the family, originally named Erica Mason, now go by Eric, who is now the father of the family, did indeed transition to become a transgendered male named Eric Mason. Eric stated that watching his child's public transition gave him the courage to address his own lifelong gender dysphoria and live authentically. The family remained together, and Eric's husband stayed supportive throughout the process. Then we have the child's transition, which is true. The child, Corey Mason, okay, transitioned from male to female at a young age. She first went viral at age 14 when a video of her mother surprising her with her first dose of estrogen therapy was posted online. Corey became a well-known youth trans activist and public speaker, which I did not know until educating myself. So, a little bit of backstory on girl Corey. Corey is a prominent American transgender activist and media personality born in Detroit, Michigan. She initially gained widespread international recognition as a teenager and has since transitioned into an adult advocate. Not an OnlyFans star clapping them cheeks, but a advocate as an adult. So she was the one that actually went through the transition experience, and no shade to those who detransitioned, because their stories are important and they need to receive the a form of gender affirming care to help them in their life experience. But we also now have evidence of another child who was young, at least in her teens or preteen, going into teenager, that made that change and now is living their life as a trans adult. Early life and viral fame, the transition video. Corey knew she identified as female from a very young age, drawing inspiration from fellow activist Jazz Jennings. In 2015, at the age of 14, her mother filmed Corey's emotional reaction to receiving her first dose of estrogen. The video went viral, amassing millions of views and launching her into the spotlight. Now, let's deal with bullying and mental health. Because if a lot of trans children and trans adults, no shade, didn't have to deal with the bullying and harassment that affects their mental health, maybe a lot of them wouldn't have to work so hard and go into debt or try to find ways to amass money, i.e. sex work, if that is the case, to be able to pay for said transformations so that everyone else around them can also honor their experience, or to let alone protect them from the objective reality of how bigoted, fuck transphobia, how bigoted people are against trans people. Prior to her public transition, Corey faced severe bullying and harassment starting in the 5th grade. She frequently used her platform to speak out against school bullying and to support LGBTQ+ youth struggling with depression. Let's talk about her adulthood, her modeling, and moving abroad, okay? Because she is modeling, not only fans one, but modeling. Modeling and media. Corey expanded her activism into the creative arts, focusing on YouTube content creation and working in modeling. She has leveraged her public platforms to showcase trans-inclusive fashion and media visibility. And no shade, she has done the smart thing, no shade, which is relocating out of the U.S., okay? In recent years, Corey opened up about the immense pressure and lack of safety she felt growing up under intense public scrutiny in the United States. From her walking her damn truth, hoes had a problem with that. So then she made the decision to leave the country, traveling extensively through South America to find peace and build an independent life. Let's talk about the dual transition story a little bit more. Corey's family story became even more unique when her parent came out as transgender. Again, was inspired by Corey's bravery. The parent, formerly known as Erica, now known as Eric, transitioned from female to male, taking the name Eric. Eric waited until Corey was stable in her own transition before coming out. So if Miss Mamas was just, oh, it's about me and I'm going to go ahead and do this, wouldn't the narrative for the mama to be trans first and then pushing the trans ideology on her child and her child saying, no, I don't want to do this. I hate this. This bitch is crazy. I'm blinking more than once, more than twice, which means help. I need an adult. None of that. Eric waited until his daughter was secure in her own transition for him to do the same thing. Now, their unique dynamic as a father-daughter duo transitioning at the same time became a major subject of features on outlets like ABC News and National Geographic. Lastly, the claims about Eric Mason, because we already established that Corey does not have an OnlyFans account, because I tried to look it up and see it and I didn't. Now, if y'all can search better than me, I would welcome that. Okay. But the claims about Eric Mason starting an OnlyFans are unverified and highly controversial. Okay. Here's the breakdown of the facts. The family story. Eric and Corey Mason, a Michigan family, first gained viral and national attention around 2017 when they came out and transitioned together. Eric transitioned from female to male, and his daughter Corey transitioned from male to female. The content creator claims rumors and allegations that Eric and or Corey Mason created OnlyFans accounts or moved into producing adult content frequently circulated on social media platforms like Facebook and TikTok. These claims are predominantly spread by gender-critical and conservative commentators as a point of criticism against the family's public narrative. As far as verification, because AI is not a human being, it's not going to give no fucks. Is it perfect? No, but it don't have emotion to blind it. The verification reads that there is no official confirmation or reputable mainstream media documentation verifying that Eric Mason has an active OnlyFans or produces adult content. The claim largely stems from internet speculation rather than official statements or public fucking records. And these are the people who are claiming to know what the fuck they're talking about and the problem with the queer community. Meanwhile, I ain't hear none of these motherfuckers offer a realistic solution. The other one is just self-love, which that is a part of the process. It's not the whole fucking process, because you also got to deal with the environment that produces people to have to heal in the first place, or to just give your life to Jesus, as if though some of us homosexuals haven't already done that, and we saw how the fuck y'all exemplify Jesus. Which is why a personal relationship is very important. But according to dominant religious society, no, Miss Mamas, it can never be personal. Because if you have a personal relationship and that personal Jesus is not sitting there telling you to stop being a trans, stop being a fag, stop being a lesbo, carpet muncher, goddamn liquor license, to stop doing that shit, then you're serving the wrong God, because our God is a God of transformation. And if you're really about that life, you're going to transform and you're going to bring life into this world, because that's what God has called you to do in reference to your body, because your body only has one purpose, especially in the realm of sex, is to bring life into this world. And the fact that Blaire and Amir has the amount of support that they have when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, that's very worrisome to me. That's very scary to me. And we have people saying, oh, well, y'all survived the first Trump, as we'll see in part 2 another time. Oh, y'all survived Trump's first presidency. What's the motherfucking problem? Do you know how many motherfucking people died because of Miss 19? And that was in his first presidency. Anyway, y'all, that's it for this time, or this live here. This is part 1. I'm about to change the thumbnail and everything. We'll come back with part 2 sometime this week. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all stay tuned because I'm probably going to be going live with another content creator later on tonight. So make sure that y'all up for that one because there's going to be more accountability within the community as well. No shade. So make sure y'all stay tuned to that. If you can, please make sure you hit the like button. Let me change my music, bitch, so we can get up out of here. Here we go. Okay, make sure y'all hit that like button because it helps the channel to grow in the algorithms. Okay, we are over 1,200 subscribers on the road to whatever the hell's gonna come next. Okay, if you want to contribute to that subscription growth and you like the vibe over here on BubzDaGawd, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. Okay, so that you can stay up to date with all of my content, both live and edited. We will be dropping edited content this year. I'm not even gonna give y'all a time frame, baby. It's gonna drop when it's gonna drop. I just know that y'all gonna be there to catch it when it falls. Okay. If there's anything that I've said in this live or any of my content, okay, that you want to react to, I don't give a damn if it's the whole damn thing. I don't care if you want to react to my shit, calling me all type of pejoratives. I don't give a damn. I give you full free permission to use my content. The only thing that I require in reference to that is that you hit that subscribe button so that I know that it's real. And if you feel compelled, you can definitely hit that Cash App. Okay, $Conscious TV, CONSCIOUZ TV. Okay, and put in the note, this is for BubzDaGawd, baby. No shade. I gave y'all something good on Sunday. Y'all want to bless a nigga with a pre-roll? A pack of pre-roll, girl? T for T, I know your ass in Africa now, so I know it's got to be a little bit cheaper over there than it is in America or whatever. Can you send the leprechaun a few coins and his pot of gold, girl, send it to Conscious TV? Okay, no shade. That's if you want to. But I'm still going to take it. I'm still going to put it out there, okay? Shout out to T for T being in the building. Make sure y'all subscribe to them. Shout out to Mia Sparks in the building. Glad to have you here, and I hope to see you here regularly. Shout out to, of course, Queen Steve in the building. Make sure y'all subscribe to her. Shout out to AJ Robin. If you're still here, please make sure you subscribe. I enjoy your commentary and perspective as well. Hope to see you again soon. I think we had Queen Spicy. Of course, shout out to the King, as always. Conscious Motherfucking TV. No shade. Shout out to him. Shout out to Hitman. Okay, Hitman Ruler. Glad to have you in the building. Hope to see you back in the building. Shout out to, of course, Rumors and Tea. I appreciate you, especially now that I know who you are, especially from that Instagram stuff. So shout out to you. Shout out to Queen Spicy. Queen Spicy. Shout out to Reed in the building. Hope to see you again soon. Shout out to, of course, Queen Faith is the Substance. Make sure y'all subscribe to her. She just celebrated her 1-year YouTube anniversary. So make sure y'all go ahead and show her some love. I think that is everybody. Yeah, so shout out to those who came through. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to those that were hiding in the bushes. Shout out to the people who support Blaire and Amir. And again, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, you can prove it. And if y'all and I'm gonna say that if y'all can prove that I'm wrong in such an overwhelming way, I will join the Amir Odom Blaire White campaign. I will switch sides in this bitch if y'all can go ahead and prove to me how the Republican Conservative Party is way more better, girl. What is way better than what the Democrats got going on? Okay. Anyway, thank y'all so much. All right. Hey, and until next time, enjoy the rest of y'all evening. We out. Peace.
I can be anything I choose in this round. We are a sound vibration too deep to tell. Just so you know, best in the life